All right, we have arrived. We have arrived. We have arrived. Okay, we are on the grounds of Brushy, I believe. Let me get it right. Let me get it right. Come on, Papas. Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. Okay, this is an actual prison right here that does walkthroughs. Okay, now I just want to glance around a little bit, and then we got to get inside because it's starting to rain out here. But does that not look crazy? At one point in time, this was a prison that housed prisoners. Okay, and the mere fact that we are this close, it just says a lot, because honestly, we wouldn't have been able to be here unless we were visiting prisoners. You would have had to figure that out in the front, because in the front there's a gate that we came through. So, you know, again, state prison. Is this not crazy? So now there's a significance to this prison right here. As you see off in the distance, you'll peek that joint over there. What? Probably where they got the guards and stuff, right? That's crazy. All right, but the significance of this prison right here is that this is where the shooter that killed Martin Luther King Jr., this is where he came to serve his prison time. Okay? Something else about this prison is that he escaped from this prison. You know, eventually they would recapture him and then bring him back here. But the fact that he, you know, as high profile as he was, and he escaped, which is crazy. All right, so I see a couple of other buildings off in the distance and stuff like that. I'm not sure what that is over there. I guess we could take a look at it real quick before we go inside. I see guards booths up there, which is crazy. Obviously the bob wiring and stuff. Crazy. My camera's getting a little wet. Let me just go ahead and wipe it. Sorry, y'all. Y'all getting wet, man. Okay, y'all getting wet. But I just wanted, I was a little interested. I seen this building over here. I was wondering, what is this? Maybe if this was like something extra. Honestly, I think it's just a regular building, but just take it in. Right? You know, the boys was behind the wall, man. I wonder if these were like windows and stuff that they could see out of. I'm not sure. Once we get in there, hopefully we'll be able to find out. Then there's buildings over there. I'm not sure what that building is over there. There's like a gift shop at the very beginning over there. This is the oh look, they had their own fire truck. Is this their fire truck? Yeah, look, it's got their stuff on the side of it. Do not touch. Brushy Mountain Institution. All right, check that John out, man. Okay, I wonder if this was from back then. Isn't that not crazy? Yeah, it's pretty fire. All right, let's get inside because it is raining. Boy, look at the beauty off in the distance. Okay, we just came off of a live stream, the one before this, where we were just taking a drive through Tennessee. I took Higgins with me. I went vertical with it to try to entice maybe some vertical viewers to come on by, check your boy out. But this was the original plans right here, which was to come do this little prison tour. It's a self-guided tour. I heard it moves faster if you just do it yourself. You could kind of go in and out. Tour entrance. Dangerous since 1896. Wow. 1800s. Okay, the latter part of the 1800s is about to end. Enter at your own risk. There are dangerous conditions ahead, including but not limited to indigenous snakes, uneven surfaces, and possible paranormal activity. Wait, this is crazy. So this is like real life. By entering these premises, you assume the risk of injury and agree to release the proprietor and its affiliates from all liability. By purchasing your ticket, you agree to the waiver and release contained thereon. Be careful, watch your step, and stay on the marked paths. Do not enter means do not enter. If you enter an area marked do not enter, you'll be asked to leave the property without refund or non-compliance. Okay, so we're not here to break no rules. Okay, we're here to have a good time. Okay, you want us to make it out alive, or we want you to make it out alive and unharmed. Again, let me get a little shot real quick, man. All right, let's see what we got. The American flag up there. All right, let me give y'all one good clean. Make sure that you're not wet. Okay. We should be clean. Oh snap, what's going on? Tickets must be purchased at the gift shop. Oh no. Okay. The gift shop's over there. All right. We're taking a little cover underneath this shade right here. A shot of the prison off in the distance. In the previous clip, we were kind of walking around there, and I was trying to figure out what this building was. You know, as soon as I got in here, you know, I became, curious of everything that I'm seeing. Obviously, a lot of visuals going on right now in the backdrop of all this beautiful foliage, right? All right, so my eyes is everywhere. So I kind of wanted to know what that was right there. Obviously, the prison right there, and then there's a building right here. So there's no tours here, and I don't believe you can go inside of here. I'm going to attempt to try to look in there. even there, you know, obviously I don't want to go in nothing. I don't want to, you know, upset no one or get into trouble. I definitely don't want to get kicked out of here. Okay. Peep these steps. These steps is crazy. Look at all these steps. All right. So I went and I purchased my ticket. The ticket is in the gift shop. The gift shop is up there. Okay. This is the map. Okay. If you're looking at the map right now, the building that I was trying to find out is the former minimum security. So that was minimum security right there. This was obviously probably maximum security, at least for this right here. But they probably kept the I guess the less dangerous inmates over there. Right. I see a little basketball court right there. Let's see if we could see the basketball over there. So that was minimum security right there. And then obviously the big boys were over there. Now there is another building right here. And this building is the former guard housing. Okay, former guard housing. Let's just take a walk to it real quick. You know, I believe you can walk up to it. You know, look, they had the full court over there. Right? So this is where they house the guards, I guess. Crazy. I wonder if those are showers back there. That looks like kind of like showers and stuff. Can you walk up here? All right, it is locked. And it is very dark. You can barely see in there. Okay. Let's make our way to the prison and check it out. All right, we back, man. We back. And we got the map. All right. So Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. Yo, what's cool is that remember, again, I said that's why I prefer to kind of buy the tickets here versus buy the tickets online. Because I feel like you'll get the actual like admission ticket when you buy it here. But, you know, again, possibly you could get it when you purchase online and you go into the office and they got to give you a receipt. But I thought this was pretty cool. Okay, perfect souvenir. Okay, all in one package. You know, it definitely sucks when you go to like one of these places and they don't have like that type of what you call it, that type of like proof that you were here. You know what I'm saying? You just got like a receipt or something like that. I like that little admit one, and then it's got the information on the back. So Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary, welcome. All right, 1896. A bunch of tour stuff down there. Then they give us the map. We're gonna really be in here. Okay, so we're gonna see the main prison, the cafeteria on the second floor, prison cells. We're gonna see the wall. We're gonna see D block. We're gonna see laundry room, the hole, which is in the basement, the lower yard, the whipping post, basketball court, gymnasium, and the former maximum security unit. Oh no, there's no tour for that. 7. That's in the back, so we might just see like a building or something like that, similar to that one over there. Okay, which was the minimum security, and then the one that we just came from, which was the housing for the guards. Okay. Let's check out the back of this real quick. We're just chilling here in the front real quick, just kind of going through this stuff. You know, y'all with me, so we kind of got to do it together. And I don't really want to edit a lot out of this. I want to give you the full experience as if you came, okay? Not like a content creator that would just make a quick video. This live stream is probably going to be at least an hour long, okay? Or this premiere. Beautiful land, hard times. For more than a century, Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary was the last stop for Tennessee's most wayward souls. A fortress of stone tucked in a stunning edge of Appalachians, Brushy punished generations of Tennessee's hardest criminals and redeemed a humble few. We welcome you to tour the iconic Tennessee landmark. We're not only You'll not only peer into the darkest corners of Brushy's history and brutal folklore, but also hear stories of unlikely kindness and deep humanity. By the end, you'll have a newfound respect for the good people of Morgan County, the complex nature of Brushy's legacy, and the foggy mystery of this land we call America. All right? I like it. I like it already. It sounds dope. Okay? All right. So I recreated this. I'm just going to put this like this, just in case they ask us for the ticket. And then bang. And then I don't think we need this piece. Okay? This is how we moving, y'all. Dean tickets here. Hopefully, oh, do we gotta get the ticket? Thanks. No.
Because now the restaurant gets shot.
Oh, all right. What if we buy them online? Can I do it here?
Do what?
If I buy them online, can I show you? Okay.
Do you keep this?
Part of it.
Okay, good enough. All right, look, we still got our ticket, y'all. Okay. Ooh, what's going on here? Ooh. Yo, no paranormal investigating, ghost hunting allowed during daytime hours. All right, cool. We're not. Boy, you already know. Somebody had probably got. Ooh. This is crazy. Okay, hold on. Let me. Since I don't need this ticket thing, let me just real quick. Let me set up right here. Oh, snap. Let's go right here with it. Got this map. I just want to make sure my hands is good. I want to capture everything I can, man. This is exciting. This is pretty cool. Okay. All right. So it started off right here. Look, Pete. Closed off area, authorized personnel only. Wouldn't it be crazy if we seen something go across or something? That'd be insane, right? Look, cameras right there. Look over here. Look, bars. Damn. Behind the bars, some steel bars. Right. Damn, are these cells? All right, general admission. The warden's office and administration. During the course of Brushy Mountains State Prison, illustrious, 113 years. History. The rooms along the main entrance hallway had various uses depending on the needs of the prison at the time. Generally, these spaces often housed the offices of the warden, the administrative staff, and various other prison employees. Right here, and I'll use these joints right here. All right, I wish they had like a specific one for the warden. Where's the warden's office? I need to speak to him. I need to speak to the warden. All right, obviously this was probably something that you had to kind of go in and out of, right? Damn. Man, this was a real deal prison, y'all. For real. You know, and it's crazy because you know me, like I love all the prison shows and all that fly stuff, true crime and stuff like that. So I feel the vibes in here, you know what I'm saying? Central control. What's this one over here? Trap gates. All right, let's see what this one is. Central control. I see a joint right here. Man, is it dark? It's dark in there. What if you see something? This is crazy. Can you open these doors? No. Nothing that's locked. I would say nothing that's locked you can go into. See? If it was open, they would let you. Oh, what's going on in there? Damn. Look at this little ass space right here. You know?
Oh, this door's screwed shut, that's why you can't open it. Oh, is it?
Damn crazy. You see all the wiring and stuff? Yeah, this would also make like a dope place, like if there was like a zombie apocalypse. You know, The Walking Dead. I can see The Walking Dead filming in here.
It was shot in here. Maybe not. You see anything in there?
Let's see. Let's see. All right, prisoner intake visitor shakedown. The loud clang of the first gate closing could be heard in nearby Petros, which is probably that one over there. Or maybe, yeah, because there's one over there. Signify the last breath of freedom. A new Brushy inmate was ever going to take after surrendering personal belongings. They must give an ID number and standard issue prison jumpsuits. Damn, probably right in here.
Where's that?
Shit, probably that one.
In there?
Man.
You look already?
The various visitors entered the prison grounds. Their names were recorded in the visitor log, and they were searched for possible contraband. Only one of 3 trapdoor gates were allowed to be open at any given time to ensure the safety of prison staffs and visitors. So I would think that like maybe you had to have like that one closed in order to go through that one. You know, you had to go like one at a time,
It's not like I haven't lived in this
right?
place.
Yeah, one at a time.
Is where they take
Let's
it
see.
now?
No, there's a bunch
Is
of
there anything in there?
maybe.
It's kind of dark in there. I don't see nothing.
Came over here. But it's-
And then this is just an office. Yeah, looks crazy. There's cobwebs everywhere. All right, let's see this one. Central control. When prison guards and employees reported to central control every day, they exchanged a metal chit.
The women stay here, but they're-
Not a chubby chit, but a metal chit with their first initial and last name for 2 sets of keys, which are needed to open the general central control area. Are these the keys?
I think it's where you like exchange your belongings.
All keys and tools were kept safely locked up, and multiple daily counts were taken to ensure the whereabouts of every single prison key at all times. There was also a pistol in the lockbox within central control that was only to be used in extreme emergencies. So one of them boys trying to get loose, you know, cap him, you know, take him down if you got to. Okay, extreme emergencies when authorized by the warden or commissioner. Man, what is this? This is scary. You know, shout out to all my higgers that have been in prison. You know, I've always said, like, I ain't never, you know, I did a weekend in booking, and I knew that life was never for me. I was never going to do crime, okay? Not deliberately. I ain't coming here deliberately. You know, F what you heard, man. All right, so. All right, we seen that one. What's this one? Keeping count. Keeping track of criminal serving time. A critical security site inside the prison, the count room. Track the movements of all prisoners going in and out. whether arriving at the end of the line for the first time, heading to the hospital for medical care, transitioning to another prison, or traveling to and from courthouses in an armed car, prison guards kept tabs on each inmate. A small holding cell was installed to temporarily contain female prisoners who were either en route to courthouse appearances elsewhere in Tennessee or transferring to the women's state prison. Typically arriving from county jail in the early morning, women were only held at Brushy until they boarded the daily chain bus and never permitted to stay overnight. That's what I was going to say, because this is a male prison. But at some point in time, females had to come through here, and they kept them right in there, locked up like animals. Huh? Yeah, these bars are crazy. This is real right here. This is real deal Holyfield. Okay? So the ladies had to take a seat in here and, wait till it was time to take their behinds to court. Damn. Well, you could feel it. You feel the vibes. Okay? Okay, so there's that way and there's this way. Let's hit it directly in the middle right here. Bam, the broken glass. Yee. Must have been a fight right there. Important prison tour information. You are embarking on a self-guided walking tour of Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. As you follow yellow arrows. Oh, look. Oh, I get it. We got to go that way. Okay, perfect. I'm glad we took time to read this. As you follow yellow arrows and tour directions throughout the grounds, please be mindful of uneven pavement and leave everything as you found it. Enjoy your journey to the end of the line. Be careful, watch your step, and stay on the marked paths. All right? Employee use only. I wonder if that was like employees back then or employees like now. Okay. Ooh. I like. What's over there? Let's see. Prison, main prison. So you walk in right there. 3. What was 3? D block? Have we already walked in though? All right. Where's the yellow at? I don't see no yellow out here that tells us to go any specific way. So let's go that way. I'm assuming that, ooh, let's see, we're here. Oh, look, they got it right there. Museum is up ahead. Cell block, ba-bam. And the gymnasium is over there. All right, the whipping post, harsh discipline. When Brushy was notorious for its dangerous housing and labor conditions, one of the most notable and unfortunate facts of prison life was the manner in which guards doled out disciplinary action. Whippings were commonplace and carried out using a 4-foot leather strap attached to a baseball bat handle. Damn! They was out here whipping niggas. Prisoners were beaten until whelps appeared, then again and again until these blisters were broken. Screams were routinely heard by the townfolk of nearby Petros, and countless prisoners slept on their stomachs until the wounds healed. Whippings were officially outlawed in Brushy in 1965 when the warden declared the act to be inhumane. Thank you, warden. Okay. Y'all see the walls, man. Behind the walls, man. Okay. I'm assuming that this is the front of the prison right here. Bang. So you see the post over there. Okay. Woo. This is spooky. Watch your step, y'all. Okay? I don't need y'all tripping. Tour continues this way. All right, let's get it. Oh my God. 11:19. Wow. This is officially prison. This is crazy, bro. This is officially prison, peep. They call it the walk. This ain't no home. In the early days, dirty floors, which regularly turned into mud pits, served as the prison's foundation. Eventually, pine planks lined the wooden structure. Heated by pot-bellied stoves, the walks, as they were known, were initially lit by hazardous oil lanterns until those were removed at the turn of the 20th century with the advent of electricity. Inmates slept in hammocks suspended by chains from the ceilings in order to keep the vermin at bay. Damn. Over the decades, Brushy was chronically overcrowded and famously known for double selling prisoners. But in 1896, there were no prison cells. By 1905, a total of 740 prisoners lived on 5 different floors, with 140 white inmates occupying 1 floor and 600 black inmates on the remaining 4 floors. Black and white convicts were completely segregated in separate prison wings, shower rooms, and dining tables. Wow. Does this open at all? That sucks. I wish this would have opened. That would have been crazy. I would have laid in there. That's crazy. Look, you had to let me get in here. Let me get in here. Boy, you had to double up the cell with the bunkie. You got the little mirror over there. That's crazy. The toilet right there. You guys are shitting in front of each other. Obviously, this is probably like y'all spaces. Each person got like a half. Right? You see the half right there. This half on one person. This half on another person. Damn, right there, the toilet. That's crazy. Huh? You peep that? You know, this is jail right here. This is what he could sign up for, right? He could crash out to come over here and hang out in here. Come on, man. This the shower right here? Come on. Come on. Okay, come on. Okay, you're not paying attention. You know, and the guard is somewhere. He not over here. Like, imagine you be up in the shower. You know, getting shanked up. You know, damn. Look, this one a little different. This one has special cell right here. This one got the little desk. You know, for Higgins to get they writing on. All right, the 2 bunks. That's crazy. You know, maybe if you're the bottom celly, but if you're the top celly, that's gotta be crazy. Like, you know, Higgins just watching you take a dump. What is this? You know, prisoners were carried in small rail cars. The short 100-foot distance from the prison to the cave to curtail escape attempts. Lucky few earned 5 to 40 cents a ton. Damn, a ton? Working overtake, man, that's crazy. Miners rotated shifts, 12 hours on, 12 hours off, so that the jail cells can be double booked. Damn, look. Suspended inmate beds. Oh, you see them? Do y'all see it? Right here, the bed is right here, and then you see the joints holding them up, the chains, you know? That's crazy. With a rat's that big. Oh, shit, look, you probably see the camera up there. Crazy. Damn. That's crazy. Well, I'm happy I've never done jail time, bro. Let me see. Prison life. Serving a life sentence in a maximum security prison was a terrifying proposition, even for cold-hearted convicts. With no hope of escape, there's little motivation to exhibit model citizenship. However, a steady flow of backbreaking work kept most inmates too occupied to cause trouble. In the 1890s, inmates harvested timber from the nearby forest to build the original prison. In the 1930s, they quarried limestone to build it to a new stone structure. Others toiled in the laundry, the kitchen, butcher house, the dairy barn, blacksmith shop, or in the fields. For the better part of 70 years, convicts were prominently tasked with mining nearby coal mines and spent at least 12 hours a day deep underground. Many died due to horrific mining-related causes, such as cave-ins, explosions, ammonia, and later black lung disease. Not only was Brushy the end of the line, it seemed worse than hell on earth. Damn, boy. These boys had it hard back then, man. These boys had it hard. Okay, so look, this is where we came in at, right? So we came in like right over here. I don't know if you guys can see it, right? We came in like right here. This is like the beginning, the front, I think. It looks like the front, right? Damn. The original prison structure was from 1896 to 1930 right there. Damn, that is crazy, bro. This is history right here, you know? This is history. You know, this is what boys had to go through, you know what I'm saying? Damn, this is nuts. Okay, prison life. Building time in the mines, with 2/3 of inmates working in the coal mines, keeping hundreds of convicts in line inside damp, crowded, dark caves was no easy feat. Okay, each man hauled several tons of coal each day, brutally whipped if quotas weren't met. Prisoners were also often stripped of their shirts, put atop a donkey that barely cleared the cave ceiling, and made to ride the mine trail until their backs were severely scraped. As a result, hostage incidents, escape attempts, and inmate revolts were not uncommon. In '59, the prison made national news when inmates rigged well over 200 sticks of dynamite and threatened to blow the mine if working conditions did not improve. Finally, in '67, after a rock fall killed 2 convicts, Warden Lake Russell ordered the mine to be permanently closed. The decades-long legacy of inmates mining coal at Brushy had finally ended. This is crazy. Huh? Look at them tears, boys. You boys lock in now. Damn, the echo in here is crazy, too. Even the whisper. Could you imagine all these higgers in here just going crazy and just, and Warden! I need water! I need water! Yo, this is insane, brother. You know, there are some of y'all out there that have done prison time, and I give it to you. I pat you on the back. Although I'm not congratulating you because you lost years of your life on an adult timeout, but I give it to you because sleeping like this is crazy. Okay? Although, at the same time, no celly, and this is like my shit. I think I could do this. It just sucks because you can't do nothing else. So it's not like you can get women here. It's not like you can get deliveries here. You know, it's not like I could get my computer and set it up in there and do my live streams from in there. None of it. They sitting in there doing nothing all day long. That's crazy. Okay, look at the coal mines, man. Damn, the boys had to go into coal mines, boy. Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm sure those up there are the identical to these down here. Who these higgers? Look, damn, boys are doing time though. Boy, little did they know. Little did they know that the world would keep on turning, or the wheels would keep on turning, the world will keep on moving. Okay, and you guys are gone, and now here I am, you know, on some adventurous stuff. I'm coming to see how you lived, right? But could you imagine telling this to them back then? They probably would have been like, "What? Who the hell would want to come here? Come on, Jimmy. Who the hell would want to come here? That don't make no damn sense." Damn, I'm kind of tight that none of these are open. Like, bro, they should have had a few of these open so you could get in there. I want to feel that hard steel. You feel me? I want to feel the hard steel. Lock in there. Y'all boys lock in now. Damn. Can we go upstairs? Okay. Yo, I'm going upstairs. That's open. What's going on over here? There's an entrance over here, something over there. No, no, no. I need to see the jazz. Is this more? Okay. This is a whole nother wing. Am I tripping? This ain't the same wing, right? No, no, no. The wing's over there. Okay, look. This one look a little bigger, though. I ain't going to hold you. This one look a little bigger, but no big deal. All right? Let's see. The end of the line, a final resting place, beginning back in 1896, the barrow field known as Simmons Hill Cemetery became the final resting place for those who died behind the wall and were never claimed by a loved one. Just a half mile from the prison walls lays countless inmates whose lost identities remain a mystery. Damn, maybe we could check this out. Small stones initially marked graves, but as time has gone on, the stones have been displaced or destroyed. The last few remaining stones have been gathered together as a memorial to the nameless. Damn, that is sad, boy. Look, my boy Tyrone up in his jaw. October 78, Tennessee State Prison. Damn, brother, what was going through your mind, brother? You know what I mean? Why couldn't you have done good? Now, this is the highlight, right? It is because of this man, the reason I came here. Okay? As I was doing research, and I wanted, number one, I wanted to do a prison tour. I would really like to do like a real prison tour where there's real prisoners in. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But, I wanted to do a prison tour. I said, yo, is there such thing as prison tours? Like, do they got? And this one came up. And then when I researched it, this is one of the most famous things about this prison right here. James Earl Ray. Okay? Some of y'all may not know that name, but some of y'all may know the name. For the people that don't, arguably the most infamous inmate that ever was in his prison. Okay, Martin Luther King Jr.'s convicted assassin, James Earl Ray, spent years locked up in Brushy, notably spending time inside cell 28. Okay, this is where he was, man. You know, this is what his everyday consisted of. You know, behind there, probably listening to these guys go crazy and yell and scream and do the most. Crazy, boy. I wonder if he was a bottom bunk or a top bunk. Oh shit, there's stuff written on the walls. It says the game is to be sold, not to be told. Come on. That's crazy. All right, let's go back here. All right, so after initially pleading guilty to the MLK Jr. shooting, he later recanted, claiming to be the patsy of a government conspiracy, despite several escape attempts, one of which led to a massive FBI hunt in 1977, earning him dreaded D-block isolation and years added to his sentence. He's reportedly an otherwise model prisoner. Only stabbed, what? Okay, one stabbed 22 times. I don't know how you thought you was going to shoot Martin Luther King and not get strapped up in jail. One stabbed 22 times by former black inmates. He managed to survive. While surviving from liver disease in a Nashville correctional hospital, Ray promised Dr. King's son he was innocent shortly before he died in April of '98. No evidence ever emerged to prove his claim that he was innocent, okay, or just a patsy for the higher up, the government, okay? He is the official convicted killer of civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. Come on, Papa. Now, here's the crazy part, right? Other than that, what did he accomplish in life? Anything? More than likely nothing, right? And that's how one infamous act can put you in the books forever, okay? In a way, look, I'm taking a tour right now based off of, his actions, right? Now, had he done something great, who knows if I would be visiting. I'm here, obviously visiting, for the infamous, not for the famous, okay? But I don't want to say salutes to him because you killed Martin Luther King Jr., but, I could at least appreciate, salutes to him, like, damn, this is how you had to live afterwards, I wouldn't think that this was worth it. Or maybe it is, maybe his name. But the thing is that like, yeah, your name is infamous, but to who? If you're gone, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, I've been thinking that also because me myself, I would like to leave some type of legacy behind. But, after a certain amount of years, nobody's going to remember you. You know, infamous is when they remember you forever because you did something, you know. Sucks. Infamous inmates, serial killers, and psychics. Many monsters have occupied these cells behind you, including accused serial killers Bruce Mendenhall and Thomas Zooman Husky. Mendenhall, a long-haul trucker from Indiana, was known for preying on red-headed prostitutes at truck stops across the U.S. and was suspected in the unsolved red-headed murders. Convicted of 2 murders and plotting to pay $15,000 to fellow inmates to kill witnesses on the outside, he was given 2 life sentences. Okay, Zooman was convicted of kidnapping and rape and sentenced to 56 years in prison, claiming insanity from multiple personality disorder. Prosecutors said he got away with murdering 4 prostitutes whose bodies he dumped near the Knoxville Zoo where he worked. Visiting psychics claim the cell walls speak of a man who favored redheads, Mendenhall, and another soul connected to dogs and zoo animals, Zooman. Where they at, though? Huh? Where they at, though? Boy, there's 3 tiers up there. And I just heard people walk through there, so that's going to be crazy to walk through there. All right, infamous inmates. What else we got over here? The Tale of Geronimo, okay? Unlikely friends. The most legendary of Brushy Mountain's pets was Geronimo, a wild baby fawn found by a guard after it fell from a ledge into the yard. Despite his tendency to alert officials to illicit activity by huddling over prisoners playing craps, Geronimo was a beloved compadre in the 1960s, and the prison looked after him for years. With a known affinity for cigarette butts, orange slices, and lifesavers, Geronimo felt right at home inside the walls of Brushy. He was reportedly found napping in a prison cell once and even dined in the cafeteria. It was said the guards would never dream of releasing him back into the wild because the inmates would likely riot in protest. So the inmates liked him. You know, the inmates liked him. That's crazy. You know. Then also, depending on the damn windows, is whether you get any sunlight. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if I'm here in the cell, you know, were they dark like this? Damn, you couldn't see shit. You know, you could maybe see like a little sliver over there. Like, is it even worth looking out there? That's crazy. I hear the rain outside. Okay. Prison life, serving modern day hard time. The day got an early 4:30 a.m. start for convicts working in the kitchen, cooking up breakfast to be served at 6 a.m. Following mealtime, the rest headed to duties such as sorting and washing clothes in the laundry for 17 cents an hour. 17 cents an hour, let that marinate, okay? Or to classrooms to finish earning their GEDs while in prison. All Brushy inmates were required to either work or go to a school and earn between 17 cents to $4.25 an hour, big boy bucks, the U.S. federal minimum wage at the time. Inmates returned to their cells between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. for the daily head count. During this time, prisoners wrote letters home or played games such as dominoes with cellmates. Later, they had the chance to visit the gym for a quick basketball game, hit them with the cross, or lift weights before dinner. Lights went out at 9 p.m., and after a few hours of sleep, the new monotonous day of prison life would begin. Okay? Hiding contraband, boy. You know, I see that little celly right there. That's crazy. You know, do they keep people in there? You know, we get back to reading. Hold on. We got to take in this, man. We got to take this in. Damn, is this open? No, this is not open. Okay. All right. This has got some pipes in there. All right. Damn, look at this tight quarters right here. Oh, look. Higgins had to wait in here to. All right. Get your ass in there. Wait to take a shower. And then this is the shower. Damn, that's crazy. So each thing only has 1 shower. And then, what you got? 2? How many are there? I think there's like 10 here. So there's like 20 prisoners, 20, 40, 60, 80. That's not a lot, though. Okay? That's not a lot at all. All right, but damn. Hiding contraband, a need for protection, the most critical component of a prison security. The count took place 3 times a day when guards walked along cells, accounting for each inmate, every inmate. Each cell was locked by a key and a drawbar controlled by the cell block officer. Officers were constantly finding contraband in cells, including shanks cut from metal bed frames with the help of guitar strings or jewelry chains. Despite surprise raids conducted at 3 a.m. to confiscate illegal drugs and weapons, officers never seemed to make a dent in the prisoners' illicit inventory. There was always an inmate on watch to warn the block that a raid was underway, and somehow even 10-inch long knives and 22 caliber zip guns survived the search. And trust, Brushy was so dangerous. Most convicts felt compelled to keep weapons just to stay alive. That is crazy. Okay, prison life. leaving hard times behind. After the mines closed in the late 1960s, BRUSHY had a bit of a facelift, new programs and services aiming to reduce violence, facilitate better transitions from prison life into the outside world for medium security offenders was introduced. The majority of inmates were now serving shorter sentences for lesser crimes. BRUSHY increasingly became a destination point for detainees rather than a maximum security state pen. Courses such as the Positive Mental Attitude PMA program were introduced in 1978, designed to help inmates build their strengths versus correct their weaknesses. And in 1980, the Regional Rehabilitation Community was established, which provided a post office, gym, library, infirmary, classrooms, and sleeping quarters. The initiative created 205 new jobs for the community. All right, driving in, if you watch my last stream, wait, hold on. This is going this way. What's going on? Why is this going this way? Oh, this is double-sided. Okay. We all good, y'all. All right. Oh, spooky. What the hell is this? Oh, the barber. What? Look, that's the barber shop. That's where these tickets would go to get haircuts and stuff. See the barber chair right there? Mirror. Is there a razor right there? Looks like, yep, razor and a comb. Y'all see it? Razor and a comb. Okay, back right there. Sink. All right, about to go upstairs. Tour continues this way. Perfect. Hold on, let me just see though, because we came out of where? I just want to make sure I'm not missing nothing. Oh, snap. What's in there? It's dark. Oh, that's what happened when I came in through here. I went that way. You could go either way though. All right, so this is probably new though. D block. All right, let's take it upstairs, boys. Boys and gals. What's this? Pipe chase. Damn, crazy. This was the visitation gallery. Damn, this is big. Ooh, look, watch your step. Hold on, which way should we go? Visitation, let's go this way first. There's a whole damn thing in there. What's going on in there? A bunch of stuff there. There's a lot going on. Let's just slow it down. Grievance. Okay, this is where the prisoners, I would think, would drop their grievances. I would think that you wouldn't want to be dropping a grievance while moving around here with other people. Like, you would want it to be like some type of secret or something like that. Because if people see you doing that, boy, I can see where, you know, mofos think you're snitching. Prison life, correspondence and contraband. A glimpse of the outside world came in the form of mail. All incoming and outgoing correspondence was delivered by the cell block guard, and each parcel was marked with the prisoner's ID number. Although new inmates weren't able to receive packages for the first 90 days. Despite this process, more than a few contained contraband. Since every piece was open and checked, it took ingenuity to conceal nefarious items. A hollowed out Bible encasing a gun and shoes lined with shanks or drug needles. In later years, x-ray machines and other devices would identify the presence of firearms and cell phones. The latter was used to orchestrate a 2005 escape attempt that left a correctional officer dead. Prisoners could also use these mailboxes to write grievance letters to the warden on everything from prison food to the state of working and living conditions. Is this like real from there? Damn, that's crazy. All right, we're gonna walk it this way. There's a third floor. It's dark and it's cut off. I'm gonna respect that. Boy, this looks scary. Damn, this is wild, bro. Imagine, you know? Right here, bro. You know? And there's three, so I'm assuming that they probably put like one person here. They probably can't have eggs at the same time, right? One egg at a time. You know, here, and if a mofo came around that corner, and you had to, oh my God. No thank yous. No thank yous, okay? No thank yous. I'll pass on that, man. Okay? Stay out of jail. That's what this says to me, man. This does not look fun at all. Yo, it's also crazy that when these cell doors opened, technically, look how much space you got to just chill. You know, if you know, like, so I'm assuming. Oh no, I think this was like a 23-and-1 though, where you had to stay in your cell. You couldn't just be hanging out on the. You know, I'm thinking about what's that movie, American Me, where they go into the dude's cell and they stab him up. You know, This is just crazy, crazy, very, very close confinement in this area right here. Boy, it's nippy too. I'm glad I wore my sweater. It's definitely nippy in here. This is cold. You see, like now if I'm in this cell right here, I could look outside and stuff like that, but what am I looking at? Nothing. Crazy. I see a cable line in there. Might have tried to put a TV in that, John. No, that's probably something else. What else? Damn. Yo, it's funny because there's not really a lot of uniformity either, you know, which just tells you that when something breaks, they just replace it and put something else there. It may not even be the same brand or make or model. Damn. But bam. Okay, I wanna walk in it the right way though. I wanna go that way and then walk into it. The next room is to the right. Okay. So then this is the other side. All right, bam, dead drop. A long way down. Known to the insiders as the street, the walk wasn't just a passageway, but a potential death trap too. On several brutal occasions, men pushed fellow inmates to their deaths over the railings. So I'm thinking that before there was this, there was just this. And Higgins would throw Higgins off. Damn, that's crazy. That is crazy. This is probably where guards stood. You know, look, there seems to be some type of window right here. You know? Right there, and then maybe the guard is right there and all the people down there. You could barely see them, Higgins, but you could see them better if there wasn't them grates. You know, so that's probably what that was. Okay, in one infamous incident, a Memphis gang leader turned inmate, or a Memphis gang member turned inmate met his fate up on 3 Walk when 2 men grabbed him from behind and stabbed him in the neck. When he was quickly tossed over the rail, he landed on 2 guards standing below, Tom Von Achen and Robin Marmon. It was suspected the violent act was meant to send an intimidating message, not only to fellow prisoners, but to prison staff as well, too. Afterward, floor-to-ceiling cage walls were erected to help prevent such horrific events from happening again. So just like I said, this was not here before. It was just this. You see? It was just these bars right here, that one and that one. This piece wasn't here, right? So right here, you stab a Higga and toss the Higga over. That is insane. Man, that is messed up, okay? And then obviously we got another bathroom right there, you know? Another baño. You wanna get in the baño? What's going on in here? This is crazy. Man, this is crazy. Yo, it's breaking this job. Lock it in. Lock it in. Lock it in. Damn, it's too bad that none of these joints open. It'd have been dope to go in there. Yo, what's going on right here? The design factor right here left for these 2 Higgas to be able to pass shit to each other. You know? I'm sure you could though, like, yeah. Higgas just passing shit to each other. This Higga making a note, he passing it here. You know, sending kites down the line. Crazy, crazy. The Higgas gotta live like that, man. But that's the choices, man. That's the choices. All right. And we back outside with it. All right, so we went those 2 ways. Now there's something else at that end. So let's make our way back over there. Okay. Let me see. 3. Well, I'm sure everywhere we go, we got the map, but everywhere we go, there's something that we could read that tells us what it is. It's pretty cool though. I'm glad I came. I like this right here. All right, we got the visitation gallery. Is it 2? I think it's just this way. What is this right here? And all right, let's go in here. What the hell going on in here? Microwave in use. That's something in that other room, so just leave that there. This is the cafeteria, y'all. This is the cafeteria. That's what these boys was eating. Chow time. 3 times a day, every cell door opened on an entire block, and guards marched 200 inmates single file to the cafeteria. For a time, the surrounding 60-acre working farm, which included livestock, a butcher's house, crop fields, and a dairy barn, provided all of the food for the prison. Inmates not only cooked for fellow convicts, but also prison employees. Later, meals made in the main kitchen were also trucked downhill for minimum security and work-release prisoners who lived in barracks outside the wall. Damn. Some of the artwork. Damn, I wonder if this is like the original artwork from back then. Where Higgins looking at this artwork and wondering why they got raccoons, why they got ducks. Crazy. Lock it in. Chow time. All right, murder and mayhem. All right, let's see what we got here. Dinner and a show. Beyond homegrown grub, the cafeteria served up plenty of murder and mayhem. There was the inmate who cut in line and soon felt the business end of a hammer hit to his head. Another time, 2 kitchen inmates turned on a third as one used a meat cleaver to separate his spine while the other sliced off his arm with a large knife. Thereafter, prison officials mandated all kitchen utensils be identified and outlined on a pegboard so that each tool was accounted for in case an inmate or a prisoner was tempted to go on a killing spree and made the deadly mistake of cutting in line again. Damn. This is not in here, is it? Lock it in. Child time. Oh no, this is the kitchen. Damn. Do you guys hear anything? This is crazy. Damn. Oh, look. This is where Higgins came in to eat. Got your chow right here. That's the kitchen back there. Damn, this is crazy. Get your chow, man. Get your chow. Damn, look, Joe. All right, the great escape guru, James Slangle. In 1970, a few years into his 318-year sentence for kidnapping and murder, James Slaggle was looking for a way out of prison in a box. Since large containers never left Brushy, Slaggle studied yoga for nearly a year and learned to masterfully contort his small body. With the help of kitchen coworkers, he squeezed into 2 18 by 9-inch boxes taped together, labeled 153 pounds of roast beef. Placed among food on a flatbed truck, once on the highway, he used his shoulders to bust open the box and deftly tumbled off the truck to freedom. Unfortunately for Slaggle, he'd been spotted by an off-duty prison guard out rabbit hunting and was soon back in Brushy facing time in the hole. Damn, Papa got caught, man. Damn. All right. Animal prints. Oh, this is going to explain these prints? The bonds of man and a beast. Interestingly enough, the same men serving life sentences for killing humans turned out to be animal lovers too. The strong attachments they made with the surrounding wildlife over the years was memorialized in wall paintings created by a few prisoners doubling as undercover artists. Thinking it would boost morale and improve the kitchen atmosphere, the warden allowed the men to come help at night after dinner. They initially cleaned walls, then went on to draw sketches and eventually painted animal portraits and other picturesque scenes of the outside world. Y'all heard that? I heard something. Shit crazy. All right. That's the grievance right there.
You good?
Hostage shootings. Is this a different? This is a different one, huh? This is a different side. What the hell? What the hell? Yo, this is a whole different one. Oh my God. Okay, let's read this one. Because we went in that way. There's like something else that way, though. Okay, hostage shootings. Racial tension and bloody revenge on February 8th, 1982. 7 white inmates armed with a 25 cal pistol, switchblade, and 6 shanks sought out of their cage-like cells, stealing keys from 4 guards they took hostage. The prisoners rushed to the segregated third tier and fired on black inmates hiding behind mattresses. The 45-minute rampage left 2 black inmates dead and 2 others wounded. The white inmates eventually surrendered to the prison medic, the only official who attempted to stop the shooting. Later, investigators learned that the pistol had been smuggled in. Suspicious swirlings of collusion between white inmates and white guards, with one guard resigning after failing a polygraph regarding his involvement. 2 theories behind the shooting emerged. A white inmate's vendetta against black prison gang members of the political militant Al-Qibulan Society, charged with stabbing James Earl Ray behind bars, or a violent co-op reflecting racial tension within the prison over control of its international drug trade, gambling, and prostitution rings. So look, even while he was here, he escaped. There was also incidents involving him, not only when he got stabbed for the 22 times, but when they retaliated for him. That's crazy. Okay, we did that one. Hold on, because before I get lost, we still got to come through here. Okay, this is the visiting center. We was originally going to come through here, but then we went that way. So now, what's this? Visiting? Let me see. The visitation room. Adult education. Beginning in 1965, the visitation room also served as BRUSHY's first inmate education program classroom. Illiterate inmates were chosen by Warden Lake Russell, a former Carson Newman College football coach and teacher, to be taught by educational director and future Warden Stoney Lane. The University of Brushy Mountain paid inmates for taking classes in lieu of working, and eventually expanded to include prison employees as well. Family and friends visitation entry. Oh, so they were coming through here. And then they probably had like chairs and stuff like that, you know? Who knows? Oh no, look, this is crazy. Is it right here? No contact visitation. Damn. Yeah. Some of y'all papas and mamas had to do it like this, man. Okay, you had to talk to your mama like this. This is crazy, bro. You know? I have to talk to a family member like this. Okay. This is the guard station. All right, the guard station, guns and grub, outside the notoriously violent cafeteria where tensions ran high, including the ever-present racial tension between black and white inmates who already ate separately, stood an armed guard station. The barrel of a 30-aught rifle poked through one of the holes drilled into the bulletproof glass, sent a warning to inmates that rounds would be fired if things got out of hand. In the event of a riot, the 2 guards aiming those rifles shot to kill. 2 more guards stood watch inside the cafeteria, but unlike their peers, they weren't protected by a pane of flexible glass that could stop a 38 cartridge. Despite toting rifles, Despite toting rifles, they knew to keep their eyes trained on the crowd, especially the table of convicts positioned just outside the gun port, which has been designated for the prison's worst offenders. Damn. So right there, you know? You know? Boom! That's crazy. Is this like a port or something? Damn. That's when I had to talk to the inmate. That's crazy. Damn. And then that one over there. Okay, family visitation. Visitation and trouble. Visitation privileges were only given to well-behaved inmates, subject to the warden's discretion. Prisoners under investigation for any behavioral issues were denied. Model inmates were allowed visitation once a week. Early on, glass partitions prevented physical contact, but when later removed, upwards of 20 inmates sat side by side across from loved ones at tables. Initially, maximum security offenders were forbidden to have visitation rights, but those with good behavior records were eventually allowed at least 1 hour non-contact video conference sessions. Visitor guidelines were strict, okay? Official identifications were needed, frisk searches and vehicle searches were conducted. One brief embrace and kiss allowed to begin and end the visit. A rigidly enforced dress code, meaning no bulky or revealing clothing, uniforms, or camo. Child caretakers were limited to take baby diapers, wipes, and 1 bottle of milk and formula. Visitors were banned from slipping. Contraband pass guards. A stash of illegal drugs was once discovered inside a diaper. Damn. Visitors were also banned for instigating violence. A prisoner once smacked his wife upon learning the baby she held wasn't his. What a bitch. How you gonna come do that to me in the jails? The hell? The helly? Girl, I should beat you in front of all these people, man. Warning. Okay, inmates of this institution have enlisted the aid of some visitors in a scheme to alter and cash United States Postal Service money orders. Persons assisting the inmates in this crime are guilty of the conspiracy against the United States government. The penalty for becoming involved in a scheme is up to 5 years in federal prison and a $250,000 fine. Whoa, this is like real. Yikes. Crazy. That's so crazy. What the fuck going on in here? It's too dark to see in there. What's in here? Can't see shit. Damn. It's crazy up in here. Lucky they ain't no ghosts. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. That's the hostage taking, right? I think we're supposed to walk that way. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Okay, another tier.
5, 6, 7 jokes.
More cells. I ain't scared of no ghosts. The shelving system seems to be all which ways in every single cell, which I think is hilarious. I can see why they closed down this at like 5 or something, because I highly doubt that they want to be paying to have all these lights on. Okay, it seems like it's raining, it's pouring. Yo, is it raining hard, or is that just a... All right, we've done everything on here. I think it's only up to the 2nd floor. There's no 3rd floor access. The cafeteria, we saw that. The prison cells, the wall. D block. Is this D block? Let me see real quick. Number 1, we see number 1. Number 2 is the wall. Number 3 is D block. Laundry room. The hole, the lower yard, whipping post. I don't think there's anything that way. Damn, it's real people or is it ghosts? All right, I think we go out this way. Dang. Oh my God, more? Yo, this one looks scary though. Look, this is another shower. So I'm assuming the shower had the prison doors too, right? They didn't want you escaping out, out the shower when you wasn't supposed to be. Man, this is crazy. Bam, so we come out here. Then there's another thing right there. Oh, this is the other side of the prison. So when we was looking at the front, like when we was facing the prison like that, this was all the way off to the right. That's the gun tower up there. That'd be dope if they would have let us get up in the gun tower. Okay, let's walk this other tier. Oh. All right, bang, right back here. Oh, that's D block over there. Trying to go check it. Let me cover y'all up. All right, life in maximum security. Built in 1957, D block was used as an isolation cell quarters for the prison's most difficult and deadly criminals. Dubbed the New Hole after the old hole built under the laundry was ostensibly shut down in the 1960s. D-block, maximum security residence had more restrictions than inmates living on death row in Nashville. Prisoners were stripped of all privileges and possessions except their uniforms and bedding. In reality, D-block was not a hole, just a smaller version of blocks A and B with 4 walks housing 8 single cells on each walk. The block had triple locks to prevent access to the other 3 walks. Despite the high security measures, D block remained a constant site of violence and bloodshed until the new high security annex building opened on the hill in 1989. 89 or 18? 1989. Trying to remember. Ooh, prisoner overflow. Matter of fact, hold on, let's go in there. Can we just take a little peek? Ooh. All right, hold on. Let's read what they had over here. All right, prisoner overflow. When D block ain't enough, 32 solitary cells weren't nearly enough to serve a prison full of first-degree murderers who were as violent on the outside as they were on the inside. When D block maxed out, the most serious offenders were sent to a sectioned overflow space in B block. Life in solitary on B was similar to D, with one exception, a shared exercise cage. The entire prison went on lockdown as B block's solitary population walked out to exercise. Considering these were essentially D block status inmates headed out for a few sit-ups was a death wish. Once an inmate spotting a guy lifting weights pushed the bar into the man's chest just as his friend shoved a shank into his side. Killers weren't the only convicts in solitary B. There were also protective custody inmates isolated for safety, dubbed as check-in. Some were forced into protection isolation if death threats were made against them. Others, like convicted pedophiles, often requested it out of fear. Either way, check-in wasn't something to brag about. Okay. No tobacco products or substitution. State of Tennessee. Okay. It's got the commissioner at the time, the supervisor of construction, warden, governor, architect. Danger on D block. Officer down, officer down. 3 weeks into Stony Lane's stint as prison warden, a maximum security prisoner took an officer hostage on the 2nd floor. The inmate jumped Officer Gunter while being unshackled for a daily exercise and was soon holding a knife to Gunter's neck. Another inmate was holding a 9mm gun and they were demanding to speak with the new warden. While buying time negotiating with the prisoners, the warden's team plotted to free their colleague. 8 other inmates sawed out of their 2nd floor cell blocks, but by afternoon the guards had stormed the walk with 12-gauge shotguns, 38 caliber pistols. 2 inmates were injured, but Officer Gunter walked away unharmed. In the end, there was no 9mm gun, just a bar of soap in the shape of a gun covered in shoe polish. Come on, papas. Okay, they fell for the okey doke. Yo, it is brick in this John, bro. I don't see no ghost though, right? Oh, shit. Oh, snap. More Higgins. There's a shower right here. Damn. Yo, look at how tiny this cell is. Oh my God, bro. Can you do it? Look. Can you do it? Let me see if I can do it real quick. This is crazy. That is crazy. Man, it's tight quarters right there, bro. And no double cells either. Oh man, this is when you be seeing niggas talking through here. Crazy. Them boys really had no room, bro. Look, you see this little space right here is a little tighter now, you know? Crazy. outside with it.
Holy crap, how current these are.
Yeah.
Damn, these
Did
are.
not give a shit.
Yeah, new celebration.
Well, all the solitaries don't interest you. Unless you don't. Well, obviously. What's your good friend?
Look, this is the only door that. Damn, look at this one. This one look crazy because you can see it all. Damn, can you go in the sink? Damn, is this the shower? I think this is the damn shower, man. Crazy. And then this was probably like a window. They probably were behind there. Man. All right. All right. Now, where were we? I see something written over there. Let's see what it is. Oh shit, there's something else right there. Okay, the guard tower. Ba-bam. All right, enforcing maximum security. The first security checkpoint at BRUSHY was the large gate and guard stations located 200 yards from Highway 116. The main prison was surveilled by Tower 2, just above the vehicle trap door gate entrance where prisoners first entered the grounds. Once the guard climbed the ladder to their post, they pulled it up behind them to protect their vantage point. Most weapons were checked and stashed in a bucket. Lifted up to the tower, and it was the standard practice for prison employees to remain unarmed in the event that an inmate overpowered them and seized their weapon. There were also gun towers along the prison perimeter where guards inside were watching, already ready with a .38 revolver and 12-gauge shotgun and .223 rifle at its side. Crazy. Right? Doors. Damn, that should go way up there. There's another tower up there. Right. I can see where they say that it's uneven ground. There's definitely a lot of places you could trip here. But, you know, as long as you pay attention, you'll be good. Whoa. What the hell? What the hell going on in here? Oh, is this isolation? Ah, this is isolation. Hold on, let me clean y'all real quick. All right. Back in business, baby. Stuck in isolation. D block meant solitary confinement without privileges or interaction with any others, save the shift guard, who brought 3 meals a day to eat in the cells. Yet there was good reason men already serving time in a maximum security prison were assigned administrative segregation. They were incredibly violent, dangerous, or had tried to escape. Prison staff reviewed D block prison profiles monthly to clear them for release back into general population, but 9 times out of 10 they were denied. Most spent months, if not years, locked in some of these 32 cells, 23 hours a day with only 1 hour of exercise allowed in a solitary outdoor cage. Inmates could turn off the light bulb in their cell for some shut-eye, but the walks, overhead lighting stayed on 24/7 and sleep was hard to come by. Lenient guards let prisoners hang bed sheets as barriers to help them rest, but mercy was rare in the new hole. Boy, this shit looked crazy. This looked like, damn. What the heck? Okay, that was, we was just inside that building. Did you know an electric chair dubbed Sparky was housed at BRUSHY's during renovations of the state prison in Nashville, but it was never used for executions on site. Both the prisoner's hands and feet were shackled when being transferred from a cell to an exercise cage, and once inside the cage, inmates turned around to have their feet unshackled first, then their hands to the door, which is this right here. Bang. What the fuck? Damn. This look crazy in here, bro. You know, do your exercise right there, your dips, your pull-ups. Damn, Pete. Boy, it is Brick City. Sheesh. We went into that building, I believe. This is where technically I believe it ends. But there's another one that we didn't finish. A near-perfect con job, the almost great escape. A Donald Kaler was one of 6 infamous inmates who jumped the wall with James Earl Ray in a notorious escape attempt in 1977. Amazingly, he wasn't the only Kaler determined to bust out at Brushy. Donald's brother Frankie devised his own clever escape plot, and it was almost succeeded. Donning an officer's uniform that he had scored from the laundry, Kaler managed to shimmy his 130-pound 5'6" frame past the first trap door gate and through the small commissary window. I hope it's not this window. That would be crazy. Patiently waiting an hour for the next guard shift change, he slipped on a pair of shades and pretended to read the newspaper while quietly filing out with a group of guards. Kaler managed to make it outside the maximum security gate before a guard recognized him. He was rewarded for his effort with a stint in the hole and extra time in the slammer. Damn. Okay, check out the commissary. Order up now. Oh, this is commissary right here. Is this the commissary? This is the commissary one, yeah. So this is where these tickets would come get their commissary. Convicts were all allowed to visit the prison commissary each week. Maximum and minimum security prisoners were had separate designated commissary windows. Bang, probably, maybe, okay. And if the prison was on lockdown, commissary goods were then delivered to maximum security inmate cells. Money earned working inside Brushy, which wasn't much for most prison jobs, along with any funds sent from family members, was added to personal inmate commissary accounts. These accounts were then used to purchase various items the inmate had placed an order for, such as shampoo, candy, instant coffee, even ciggies. Okay, get you a little ciggy. Oh, I seen a little John back there. Okay, it's let's see. We did this one, right, which is cell block. We got to do the museum and we got to do the gymnasium. Let's go this way. It's kind of raining. Check out the museum. Or, no. I want to check out the gymnasium first. I think the museum should be last. Okay. All right. Gymnasium time. Gymnasium time. Obviously, they had basketball right here. I see the Cokes right there. ATM? They had no damn ATM back then. Come on now. Get that out of here. They probably do grills. No wonder there was a price for like stuff. They probably have like days where they got like little events. Oh, I did read something where they do events here. This would be a dope spot to do a sneaker event, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. Should do a sneaker event here at the damn prison thing. This would be fire. All right, it's a little darky dark in here. This is obviously someone's office, right? Office, yeah. Look, yeah, they be having like lights and stuff. They do little events here. I read, I think there's one in December sometime. All right, the gymnasium. Sports and takedowns, often used for boxing matches where inmates squared off inside a ring to the cheer and jeers of peers betting on the bout. The gymnasium also housed dozens of inmates when cell blocks of the typically overcrowded compound were filled to capacity. For most of its existence, the gym segregated black and white inmates, each designated to specific areas for exercise such as weightlifting and basketball games. However, one of the gym's most infamous incidents had nothing to do with recreation. It was rumored that some inmates were hatching a plot to overtake the gym. At the time, plywood covered the once secure but recently broken door in the rear of the room. Suddenly, the makeshift enclosure fell open, sending the plywood boards sliding across the floor. Armed guards swarmed in, yelling everyone against the wall. Prisoners quickly lined up. A few confused guards stationed inside the gym joined the line too, until realizing the men with the guns were fellow guards rushing in to apprehend the convicts suspected in the takeover scheme, bro. Okay, look right there. Damn. Niggas had beds in here. Damn, this is a real picture. I'm trying to see where the windows are at though. Because I don't see the windows are right there. So these windows right there, that means that there was mad beds right there. See? So those three, and then the three. Nowhere else do you see the three. Okay, so that's and then Lieutenant James Fowler and 2 inmates in the gym. Crazy. Nutsy. Real nutsy. Okay, let's take it to the museum. I think the museum is the last thing, in all honesty. What's this over there, though? We'll walk back there, but let's check out the museum. All right, dang. What the hell? Oh, this is like the laundry. Oh, they got more stuff in here. Probably had guards up there, you know? That looks like some type of press or something like that. And then you got washing machines over there. I don't know what the big ones are over there. That one's definitely a washing machine. That might be a dryer or something. You got the museum and theater that way. This is like some type of machine too right here. What is this, like some type of press? Can't go that way. Let's see real quick.
Pretty much already.
All right, the laundry room, doing the dirty work. A 1928 federal government report on the nation's prisons reprimanded BRUSHY for its treatment of prisoners mining coal. While they were afforded showers in a 60-stall bathhouse, they were never provided towels. The government felt this was cruel, particularly for miners who were constantly covered in dirt and coal. Even without towels, it was no small task cleaning hundreds of uniforms. Oh, that's what that is, a big-ass washing machine, and probably a dryer. Even without towels, it was no small task cleaning hundreds of uniforms from 12 plus hour coal mining shifts. Several 250-pound capacity industrial-sized washers and dryers cleaned jeans, shirts, and whites separately. Other machines were used to press and stitch worn clothes and even were operated by inmates, making 17 cents an hour. One prisoner even managed to devise a clever coding system to identify inmate clothing, facilitating its return to each individual. Crazy, 17 cents an hour to work up in here. Huh? So, you know, he gets taking a job or what, man? Theater, museum, and the whole tour continues this way. And the hole is downstairs. Oh, the museum's in there. Let's go to the hole. Man, we're interrogating Higgs in there? Ain't no sunshine when you gone. Loss of vision. For roughly 70 years, countless prisoners marked time in the hole by scratching tally marks on the walls. Probably in there, right? With no heat or air conditioning, little ventilation, and hardly any light, release couldn't come fast enough. Even for the toughest of convicts. In fact, it was so dark inside, prisoners would lose their vision within days. Upon release, a fellow inmate would be assigned as a guide until their sight returned, usually within a week's time. The extreme physical, mental, and emotional effects of solitary confinement in such dire conditions reportedly weighed heavily on Warden Joe Freytag. In fact, it was said Warden Freytag would visit prisoners in the middle of the night to check on their well-being, though not nearly soon enough for many suffering man. The old hole was finally shut down in the 60s. Damn, is this where we're down? Get the hell out of here. This is crazy. What? Yo, hold on. Chat. Let this marinate real quick. Are they all the same? Damn! Bro, this joint is tight. Bro, peep this. Bro, this joint is tight. Look. Damn. Imagine all day long, bro. Like, what do? You just pace back and forth. You know? Yo. Damn. Solitary confinement is rough, papas. Papas and mamas. Do y'all see in there? Do y'all need some light? Look. Wow. Come in here. Let me show you.
That's like a lot of torture too. Once you're stuck in the dark.
All right, the whole hell on earth. When BRUSHY opened in 1896, the whole housed disobedient and dangerous inmates for days, weeks, even months at a time, if the warden deemed it right. The whole wasn't just about solitary confinement to a 6 by 3 by 8. That's that measurement of that room space. That shit's small as hell. It was far worse. Inhabitants were once treated to a suspension torture, tied by their thumbs to pulley cords, hanging from the ceilings, toes barely touching, for up to 30 minutes. This went on until 1905, when the practice was deemed inhumane by a state Senate commission panel, while the size of the hole increased to 4 by 8 by 10. 4 by 8. Okay, yeah, it did go up. When the new prison opened in 1933, it was still a dreadful, dark dungeon containing just a mattress and 2 buckets, one for fresh water, the other for a toilet. Damn. Crazy. Did we see the scratching on the walls? Was there
Oh, they have those fixed.
is there any scratching on the walls? Let's see. I wonder if there's any scratching on the walls. Let me see if I could. Let's see if we could check one more time. Oh, look at them right there. Mike loves Billy. What the fuck? And Jesus. Nah, these niggas was writing up in here. The pen marks, come on. This one though, I believe it. I believe it. Mike loves Billy. Okay, but Calvin 2024, he tripping. He trying to get caught up in here. Okay, let's sit right here. Jesus loves me. Jesus saved me. It says Jesus saves me on the damn walls. What's that down there, lady? Damn, imagine having to lay here and just look up at that. Oh shit, right there. That's crazy. This is a small ass space. This is definitely a small ass space. Grab my pamphlet. Study. Damn. I think that's the front. We didn't go to the museum though. And it's to the right. Museum entrance. What is this? State offense. Oh. Attempting to escape from hospital by cutting through floor. Stealing shoes plus blanket. Attempting to kill Ida Harris by hitting him in the head with a mop. Damn. No, with a slog or sledge or some shit. Oh, look, this nigga got in trouble for profanity. What's this? Are these all the prisoners? Oh, this is the graveyard record. I wonder if there's any De Leons up here. Nope. Any Artods? Nope. Any, what's Lightskin's last name? It tells you what they died from, too. One nigga died from syphilis. One nigga died from a an escape attempt. One nigga died in the mines. Stabbed in the back during labor. I'm trying to see. These ain't in order, though. Oh, yeah, they are in order. Oh, okay. These are all, I think these are all of them. Let's go this way. Let's go ahead. What is this? Inmate mining uniform. Damn, what we got here? Gas mask. The utensils that they used to use to eat. Lamp. Let's see. Tools used. Damn, the tools is rusty. Pickaxe. Horseshoe. Tools used in minery by prisoners. Same thing. Highway patrolman watching convict miners return to prison after sit-down strikes. Drill bits. Damn, look at this one. This is crazy. Was that made by wood? The gas sensor lamp. A meal pack food tray. The prison right there. What's this nigga right here? Old Mose. There's a picture of the crematory. Prison-made sculptures crafted with plastic bags. Handmade gun. A zip gun. This one. Damn, whose shoes? New shoes. New shoes. New boots. These niggas have rings and stuff. What do we got here? Brushy Mountain Branch Prison. Handmade bronze sculpture of the prison. I don't know who this is. All right. Wow. Shackles. Tear gas. The iron claw used at the wrist for restraining and controlling prisoners. Damn, they had a taser back then? How crazy is that? I thought the taser was like a newer thing. Let's see, is that a... Oh, that's the belt that they used to whip them with. This one. Handcuffs. Leg irons. Damn, what's the name of this, John? The wooden handle strap. Man, this is how they whoop them. I guess you could say that all these books sort of have something to do with it because they have to do with James Earl Ray. The choice of BRUSHY Mountain is demonstrated by the use of our name in numerous songs and publications, both fact and fiction. So the prison's been mentioned in all these, somehow, someway. Go back this way. I blame society. Silence of the Lambs. What? Oh, I think they filmed Silence of the Lambs. Didn't they? Might have filmed a part of Silence of the Lambs here or something. Or am I bugging? I might be bugging. The Firm. Breaking the Chains. To My Soul to Keep. My Soul to Keep. She Walks These Hills. Hellbound. On His Trial. Broken Hearts. Last Days of Inmate 65477. James Earl Ray. James Earl Ray, younger brother, recounts on their involvement with self-described white supremacy and racist J.B. Stoner. Vintage jackets, IDs.
Alright guys, I got all the things, let's go. Ready, hands, Gabby, Lacey.
Oh, snap, are these inmates? You know, these are correctional officers.
Gabby, Lacey. Lacey, hurry up. It's a Lacey.
Get all over my face. What happened? I looked over and you laughed and spit all over my face. If we were a live photo.
I can't, not right now, can you change it?
No.
It's going big.
This is the one that keeps
Oh, it's a checkerboard. Those down there playing games when they're supposed to be minding them damn minds, man. Flashlight. Some artwork by the inmates. Oh, these are, I guess, what some of the most infamous inmates. Obviously, James Earl Ray wasn't the meanest one to ever walk down these halls and slept behind these walls, not by a long shot. But his is the name that echoes across BRUSHY's long history. Even before he confessed to the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in 1969, Ray's life seemed to bend the wrong way. When he was a kid, his daddy passed bad checks and had the family assume false names to avoid the law. Damn. He then joined the army at the close of World War II and served in Germany, but was discharged for ineptness and lack of adaptability. He was always a thief, a fraud, a criminal, and managed to escape a sentence for armed robbery, sneaking out the Missouri State Penitentiary in a bakery truck. Damn. Okay, we got a Byron low-tax looper. Look at this guy. These greedy politicians, there's greedy politicians, there's crooked politicians, and then there's Brian Looper, a man who actually changed his name or his middle name to low tax, yes, with the parentheses and all in a bid for power. Okay, Byron Anthony Looper was born an hour west of here in Cooksville, but raised in Georgia, where his daddy was a school superintendent. Things started well enough for Byron. He attended the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, but didn't finish after receiving an honorable discharge for a bad knee injury after being thrown from a horse. He moved back to Georgia to finish school, worked for the state legislation, and even ran for the Georgia House of Representatives, but he lost in the primaries. In 1992, he moved back to Tennessee, try his political luck here. But what'd he do? You know, like, is it a thing like that? No? They didn't really say what he did, though. All right. Then you have Paul Dennis Reed. BRUSHY saw its share of evil men in the 113 years it operated, and Paul Dennis Reed was as evil as any of them. Reed was 20 years old when he was convicted of armed robbery and sentenced to 20 years in Texas. After serving 7 years, Reed was paroled, and he set his sights on Nashville with dreams of becoming a country music star. He ended up washing dishes at Shoney's, where he was fired for throwing a plate at another employee. Okay, the day after losing his job, this was February of 97, Reed went to a Captain D's that was down the road from his old job. He forced a 16-year-old employee and her 25-year-old manager into the cooler. He shot them to death, stole the money from the register. The next month, he killed 3 more at a McDonald's 3 miles from Captain D's. The month after that, he drove an hour up the road from Nashville to Clarksville, where he kidnapped and cut the throats of 21-year-old and a 16-year-old that worked at Baskin Robbins. What's the matter with this nigga? What a fucking nut. Video. Matter of fact, no. Can we go to historical timeline? Historical timeline? Historical timeline. There we go. Line. Damn. The damnation of evil men. Damn. The damnation of evil men from 57 to 1982. By the middle of the century, BRUSHY's reputation as the last stop for the worst criminals had become legend. If you wore out your welcome at another prison or committed some unspeakable crimes, you ended up at BRUSHY, and let me tell you, that was never a good thing. In 57, after finally shutting down the hole, they built D-Block to keep the nastiest inmates isolated from the rest. It just happens that D-Block was built on the site of the old death house, where the bodies of dead inmates were kept until they were given back to their families or buried at the Paupers Cemetery up on the hill there. In 69, BRUSHY was reclassified as a maximum security prison, the end of the line. That was the most infamous era of BRUSHY's history, a time when the assassin, James Earl Ray, was transported here, tried to escape, failed, got stabbed. In 72, the guards went on strike, demanding security improvements, and BRUSHY was shut down for 4 years. So they improved some things, reopened BRUSHY in 76, but friends, let me tell you, it was still BRUSHY. Tensions between black inmates and white inmates threatened to overwhelm a system that just didn't seem capable of containing the evil of this place. In 82, the powder keg ignited. 7 white inmates held guards hostage at knife point. They took the guards' guns, found 4 of their black rivals in their locked cells, and opened fire. They killed 2. The other 2 managed to survive by hiding in the corner behind their mattress. People said things couldn't get any worse, and maybe, finally, they were right. Crazy. So we've seen the inmates, prison grounds. Did we see that? Does it do something? Let's see. Is it going to play something? Maybe not. See photo gallery. This was the beds. Crazy. Look, here goes with that damn deer. The damn fern. Look, the damn fern all up in this. Come on, man. Wait, hold on. I wonder if they built like a whole nother part of the prison, because this don't look like a piece that we went to. All right, some beds. Why would they have bed frames in here? All right, that's the museum right here. That's the exit. Wait, hold on. Damn, they got more stuff in here. Got a little baseball trophy. This is an inmate drew that. Prisoner bed with shanks cut out. Damn. Oh, they cut these pieces out to make the shank. That's crazy. Oh my God, look at all the shanks. Yeah, that's a nasty one. You're gonna hurt somebody with that one. Look at this one look crazy. Damn, this one's wild too. Look how long that joint is. Look at that one. Yeah. Boy, you get touched with this one right here, boy. It's gonna be a nasty day for you. Oh look, that one was a brush that they burned and then they just put the blade in it. Some nunchucks made, a dagger, confiscated over 100 years ago. Handmade brass knuckles, prison-made dice, and dice horns. That's crazy. How they made them damn dice. What's this? Oh, these are like tattoo guns and stuff. Oh. Look at these right here. This was a bar of soap carved out to hide contraband. Look at this one. Bible cutout for contraband. Dominoes, contraband in the filled with marijuana. Damn, look at this one. They're trying to get that dope, man. Bible used to hide contraband. This is like a bong. 8-track tape hiding contraband. The chanclas. Oh, they cut out the shoe and they put contraband in there. This is a pipe, marijuana pop pipe. Legal paperwork hiding contraband. Hairbrush used to hide pills. Cooking spoon for drugs. Prison-made syringe. Man, these niggas was making some crazy stuff. Look at these Puff Puff the Magic Dragon. Storybook. Did somebody make this here? If somebody drew this, then that's crazy. The Corrections Peace Officer Foundation recognizes Correctional Officer Wayne Cotton Morgan of the Tennessee Department of Corrections, Brushy Mountain Correctional Complex. Oh, did he lose his life? I think so, yeah. Look, escape of inmate George Hyatt, shooting death of Officer Wayne Cotton Morgan. Damn, I think he's trying to escape. I guess these are times they made the paper. Damn, when they closed the prison down. Do I gotta read it from right to left, from left to right? Let's see. Tennessee jailhouse lawyer ruled decried 3 inmates charged at the Brushy riot last week. Court ordered to hear Brushy's inmates. What's going on right here? Absent. Escapee's death trial making history. Two prisoners charged with having a gun. Brushy confirms holding the fence to keep animals, people out. Oh, these are the names of the convicts. I'm looking for the D's. There's no De Leon. There's no Artad. Those are the only names I could think of. And I forget Lightskin's last name. Damn, it's pouring. All right, I think that's it, y'all. I think it's over. I think I showed you everything I could show you, man. I think this is where it ends. Yeah. And then I think you could go out that way. Yeah, you can go out that way.